Reconstruction. African Americans didn't get to become legislators or help make laws until after slavery ended in 1865. Slavery is when one person owns another person, making them work without paying them. The enslaved people, mainly African Americans, worked hard and were treated unfairly. A war started here in the United States, a war for freedom for enslaved people. The American Civil War was fought between two groups of people. One group wanted to keep slavery, and the other group wanted to stop it. The people who wanted to keep slavery were mostly from the southern states and were called Confederates. The other group was called the Union and were mainly from the northern states. Fighting between the two groups started in 1861 and lasted for 4 years. On January 1, 1863, President Abraham Lincoln signed an important document called the Emancipation Proclamation. This document stated that all enslaved people in the Confederate States had to be set free. It would take over 2 years before all the enslaved people were set free. There weren't phones or the internet back then, so messengers traveled on horseback to bring important news. On June 19, 1865, Union soldiers arrived in Galveston, Texas, and told the enslaved people the good news. This was the last group of enslaved people in the United States. June 19 is the official end of slavery and became known as Juneteenth. Juneteenth became a national holiday in 2021. The amendments. In the United States, the Constitution is the most important document. It helps the government operate and protect the rights of citizens. Changes can be made to the Constitution with amendments. An amendment is a change or addition to an original legal document. There were 3 important amendments that were written after slavery ended. On December 6, 1865, the 13th Amendment was passed. This amendment stated that no one could be forced into slavery or forced to work without being paid. There would be 2 other laws added to the United States Constitution that were also important. In 1868, the 14th Amendment was passed, giving citizenship to anyone who was born in the United States, including previously enslaved people. This amendment also helped provide equal protection under the law for all people, regardless of their race or color. In 1870, the 15th Amendment was passed, and African American men were given the right to vote. This was a very important amendment because many states had laws that prevented African Americans from voting. This amendment made it illegal to deny someone the right to vote based on their race or color. With these 3 amendments, a new time period began known as Reconstruction. Now free, enslaved people had to create new lives for themselves. Programs were put in place so they could get an education and find paying jobs. Since the 15th Amendment gave African American men the right to vote, there would be many African American men who served as legislators during Reconstruction. African Americans legislators were members of the Republican Party because it was President Abraham Lincoln's party. Hiram Rhodes Rebels, 1827 to 1901. Indiana, 1870. Senator Hiram Rhodes Rebels became the first African American to serve in the U.S. Senate. He represented Mississippi as a Republican. He would serve until 1871. Blanche K. Bruce, 1841 to 1898. The Mississippi State Legislature elected former enslaved person Blanche K. Bruce to the Senate in 1874. He was the second African American to serve in the Senate 1875 to 1881 and became the first African American to preside over the Senate in 1879. He would be the last African American senator for 86 years. Joseph Hayne Rainey, 1832 to 1887. Indiana, 1870. Representative Joseph Hayne Rainey became the first African American to serve in the U.S. House of Representatives. He represented South Carolina as a Republican. The beginning of Jim Crow. Even though there were many African American men that served in a political office, Reconstruction was not an easy time. Remember, there was a civil war fought for 4 years. Earlier, We mentioned many of the African American legislators were Republicans. During this time period, the Democratic Party was the popular party in the South. Democrats supported slavery and would fight against the changes Reconstruction brought. A lot of hope and work that happened during Reconstruction would stop in 1877. A new set of laws, known as Jim Crow, would make it hard for African Americans for many years to come. State and local governments can create their own laws. Many of the Southern states made laws that pushed for segregation. Segregation is setting one group of people apart from another group. Most of the time, one group, in this case African Americans, was treated unfairly.